Hello, and welcome to my show. I'm Debbie Miller, host of Move or Improve, and thanks for joining me. Each year, as the holidays approach, I read articles on staying safe during this busy time of year, but really, so many of the tips I read about could extend to year round safety tips. So let me talk about it. Here's what I mean. First of all, you never want to overload your electrical outlets. Overloaded electrical outlets and faulty wiring are a common cause of holiday fires or fires anytime during the year. Only plug in one high wattage appliance into each outlet at a time. I recently stayed in an inexpensive motel for the night where the TV, refrigerator, and microwave were all on the same outlet, and the outlet was loose in the wall. Needless to say, I didn't use any of the appliances, and I didn't write a rave review on TripAdvisor. Second, just only use extension cords for temporary use. Don't use them full time. Plug the cord in securely, make sure it's not frayed or damaged, and don't leave anything plugged into it for any length of time. It's just not safe. Then again, it's a good idea to have your home inspected by a licensed electrician every 10 years or less, actually, if you experience electrical problems like flickering lights, blown fuses, warm or discolored wall plates. And also remember that GFCI, or the ground interrupt receptacles, they can be installed to prevent shock or electrocution. For example, code requires any outlet near a sink, like a bathroom or a kitchen, to be protected with a ground fault interrupt circuit so you don't get a shock from plugging something in. Because if the outlet senses too much moisture, it'll trip or turn off the power to that outlet, which is a good safety feature. And then there's a red reset button on the outlet so you can get the power back once the water problem is removed. But you don't want to not have a GFCI receptacle, and any licensed electrician can install that easily. Next thing to remember, though, is heating equipment is the second leading cause of home fires in the U.S. So be sure to keep anything that can burn at least 3 feet from a heater. Put the heater flat on the ground. Don't use an extension cord with the heater. You have to plug it directly into the wall. And turn the heater off when you leave the room or sleep, and never, ever use a heater with a damaged cord. The other thing, and this is probably something you already have, but it's worth repeating. Install smoke alarms on every level of your home, following your local fire codes. A smoke alarm should be in each bedroom and outside each sleeping area. If your smoke alarms are older than 10 years, it's time to replace them. Push the test button on each smoke alarm every month. And if it's battery operated, then replace those once a year, or if the alarm starts chirping at you. So if you do hear something that sounds like a cricket in your house, check your alarm system, because it's probably that. It's also a good idea to use battery-operated candles. I'm amazed at how real these candles look. And batteries are inexpensive and won't catch fire, so try them and see. It's a whole lot safer than flame candles. Next thing you want to remember, though, is to protect cords from damage. To avoid shock or fire hazards, cords should never be pinched by furniture or forced into small places or placed under a rug. Don't place them near a heat source, and don't use nails or staples to hold them in place. No. And you want to remember, when you're cooking, you want to stay in the kitchen when you are cooking. It may sound obvious, but unattended cooking equipment is the leading cause of home cooking fires, according to the National Fire Prevention Association. And as people age, they may forget to turn off a burner, so you need to go back and double check that all your burners are off. You want to keep poisonous plants out of the reach of children and pets. Plants that are more prevalent during the holidays are poinsettias, English ivy, calla lily, mistletoe berries, but apple seeds can also be dangerous to pets and children, so you want to watch all of that. Don't let them put them in their mouth. And coin-shaped lithium batteries can easily be ingested by little people. So leave them in a safe place till you're ready to use them, and don't let them out of your sight. Now, when you're traveling by automobile during the holidays, but really any time of the year, use a designated driver if you're going to drink. National Highway and Transportation Safety Administration reports that 10,497 people died in alcohol-related crashes last year. They report that Tuesday is the safest day to travel and Saturday is the least safe day for travel. And obviously, you want to make sure everybody in the vehicle is properly buckled up, no matter how long or short the drive will be. And if you're using a car seat, make sure it's installed properly and facing the right direction, depending on the age and the weight of the child. Please put your cell phone away, because many distractions occur while you're driving, and cell phones are really the main culprit. If you use the phone for directions, don't use it to text or call unless you pull off the road first. You can set up your Google Maps on your phone with your destination, and they will talk to you to tell you when to turn. You want to properly maintain your vehicle. You want to have an emergency kit with you just in case when you travel, or it doesn't matter how long the trip is, you should have an emergency kit anyway, and it should be organized depending on the family members traveling with you and where you're headed. So you want to include things like jumper cables, flares, a first aid kit, a blanket, flashlight with extra batteries, a toolkit with screwdrivers, pliers, an adjustable wrench, a pocket knife, Band-Aids, hand sanitizer, antiseptic, bug spray, aspirin, gauze pads, ACE bandages. Those are good things to consider taking. And then you might want to also think about taking a rain poncho, a tarp, scent-free baby wipes, extra drinking water for sure, and non-perishable snacks. If you're traveling with children or infants, obviously extra diapers are a must. Are you taking your dog? Well, then take a water bowl, dog food, and treats to make it easier on everyone. You should also have the equipment to change a tire, just in case you don't have a membership in one of the roadside service companies. And don't forget a cell phone charger. You want to type up a master list of what's in the car, and then you store the items in a clear plastic container so you can see what's in it. And you're going to have to check batteries occasionally from time to time to make sure they're still good, things like that. But make sure you have an inventory of what you have with you so you can say, oh, geez, I forgot to bring the yada yada. Now, when you're traveling, especially in the wintertime, you want to be prepared for heavier traffic and possible heavy snow. So you want to pack some kitty litter in case you get stuck. Kitty litter is great for getting out of ditches or icy spots. And take some large towels to get traction. You can put them under the rear tires, and that can be put to good use if you're stranded. And take small bills with you in case you need to buy gasoline and the gas station power is out. Yes, that does happen. Now, if you're going to be at home, you want to check and clean the chimney and fireplace at least once a year. And that sounds like, well, yeah, I've never done that before. Well, it's a good thing to do, because when I do home inspections with my clients, I always have a separate chimney inspection done, just because you never know if the liner is done correctly or if it's still intact. Does it have a crack in the brickwork? There's all kinds of things that could happen that you don't know. And they'll do a video of the interior of your chimney so you know what's going on. And just remember that food poisoning is not a gift that anyone wants to get, so take precautions. You want to use a food thermometer to make sure the meat is cooked to a safe temperature. You want to refrigerate foods within 2 hours after you serve them. Leftovers are safe for about 4 days in the fridge. But you want to bring sauces and soups and gravy to a rolling boil when you're reheating them. That's very important. And if you have any leftover turkey, it's best to cut it into small pieces so it will chill faster. And be sure to wash your hands frequently when you're handling the food. No sense spreading the germs. You want to watch out for children. Kids get so excited around the holidays, especially if they're visiting a new place or seeing new people. Many locations will not be as childproof as your own home, so you want to watch for dangerous food, drinks, household items, toys, tools, things that they could choke on, and keep them away. And most people, when you go to visit, are very amenable to baby proofing or child proofing the home for that afternoon or day that they're going to be there. And you don't ever want to wait to clean up after a party, because kids and pets can reach the alcohol and the food or the decorations before you do. And it also, leaving it out, gives it a chance to gather germs that you don't want to have in your stomach. Another thing to remember is don't burn wrapping paper in a fireplace. It can easily cause a flash fire. And be sure your fireplace, especially if it's wood burning, has a sturdy metal screen in front. Now, if you're gift giving, select gifts for older adults that aren't too heavy or awkward to handle. And don't give toys to children that have small parts that they could swallow or choke on. You don't want to do that either. If you're going out of town, this might sound obvious, but don't post anything on social media that lets people know you're going out of town. Why inform strangers that you're leaving? You actually want to create the illusion that someone's always home. So you want timers on lights and other safety features to use to let people think you're home. But it's okay to let a trusted friend or neighbor know your travel plans. If you're driving to your destination, you want to know some alternate routes in case of delays. And remember to take plenty of water with you to stay hydrated. And a lot of people now have these motion detectors and cameras that let you see while you're away who's at your front door ringing the doorbell, and you can even talk to them and sound the alarm and that sort of thing. So that's another good thing to look into installing in your home. It's estimated, according to the AAA, that over 107 million Americans plan on traveling during this holiday season. So how does that break down? Well, 97 million will travel by car. 6.5 million will fly. 3.6 million will travel by bus, train, or cruise ship. And many people are traveling to off-the-beaten-path destinations like Croatia or Iceland. Many of the Caribbean islands are back in business despite the bad hurricane season, so don't overlook that option as well. Aruba, Antigua, Bahamas, Barbados, Jamaica, St. Lucia, other islands are ready to welcome you. But you want to stay safe wherever you go and use trusted travel sources to get you around on the islands. Don't go venturing out on your own. You want to leave your itinerary with a trusted friend or family member. Check in with them before you leave and be sure to update them on any last-minute changes. And if you're leaving the country, you want to visit your physician at least a month before you leave, so you're sure you're up to date on immunizations and medications. And be sure you have enough medications for your trip so you don't run out. Pack a few extra days of medications in case you're delayed. But be sure you keep your medications with you in your carry-on bag. Don't pack them in your checked baggage. And you can use your cell phone to remember your medications, your health history and allergies, and your emergency contact and doctor contact information. That comes in handy too. So if you're traveling overseas for the holidays, you need to be sure your passport has been updated if it's needed. You want to reserve your tickets well in advance. You want to buy travel insurance. You want to book your hotel or Airbnb well ahead of time too, because the best ones get taken quickly. And take a pack of items on the plane to help you relax during the flight. Don't forget your phone charger. And children actually have fun packing their own backpacks with things